Now, the High Court in Johannesburg has postponed the ruling on the application for leave to appeal that has been filed by convicted murderer Ntuthuko Shoba. He was found guilty of orchestrating the murder of his 8-month pregnant girlfriend Tshegofatso Pule in 2020. Shoba is now serving life imprisonment. You remember the gruesome discovery of Pule's lifeless body sparked public outrage. Well, what came out of court today? Let's find out now with our senior reporter, Silindelo Masikane. She's back with us in studio. Good afternoon, Silindelo. Just take us through Shoba's application in court today.
Well, what was quite interesting, Dan, was that Shoba was actually not present, for this application, but his lawyers, of course, filing this leave to appeal his conviction as well as his sentence. So they believe that a different court, a higher court, may come to a different conclusion, and they say that the judgment that was made against Shoba, the judge really put more weight, they say, on some aspects as opposed to others, and maybe the other aspects, another judge may find that, they could find actually Shoba to not be guilty in terms of this crime. But what was quite interesting is that they say that the state as well as the judge relied quite heavily on the confession of Muzikaise Malepane, who we know to be the triggerman, who we know confessed and said that I was hired by Ntuthuko Shoba to carry out this murder. And they're saying that in fact another court may find, if I can read from the papers themselves, that Malepane was a nonsensical and that his account of what happened was a clear fabrication with many a loose end. Let's take a listen to Ntuthuko's lawyer in court this morning.
Evidence was of such a nature. If one can start with Mr. Malepane's evidence, the approach that my lord took on his evidence and the corroboration that my lord sought for his evidence, what I'm submitting, my lord, is that another court might view that, might come to a different conclusion in that regard, whether the corroboration, which my lord found to be sufficient, to sufficiently safeguard any risks attached to accepting Mr. Malepane's evidence.
Okay, Ntuthuko Shoba was not in court, but his lawyer was. But were there any other people on both sides of the families, including on Tshegofatso's side? Yes,
of course, the family. Her uncle in particular was there, as well as Butlali Modisani, a childhood friend. But we also saw Ntuthuko Shoba's father in court as well. But for the family, they just see this attempt as just a last-ditch attempt by Shoba to once more not take accountability. They also find it quite interesting that this application falls on the day that we are beginning the 16 days of activism campaign, saying, it is an opportune time to remind young women of Tshegofatso Pule's story, that, at some point, in some instances, it's actually the ones who are closest to you who end up killing you or hurting you or abusing you. And it's just a reminder that, be aware of those signs, and your life could really end in an instant.
I mean, sadly, tragically, even the police minister saying with the stats the other day, Silindelo, that the bulk of crimes of abuse, of sexual against women are carried out in homes of people that should be looking after them.
Exactly. In your home with the person you trust the most. Let's just take a listen to what Dumisani Katake, that is Tshegofatso Pule's uncle, had to say in court this morning.
Not like we didn't anticipate this from Mr. Shoba. But at the same time, he's still not taking our feelings into consideration. We're talking about the loss of life here and the loss of what would have been our nephew. But at the same time, let him exercise his rights. I did say in the beginning that he can appeal until he's blue. But at the same time, I feel it's just a waste of time from his side. Look, we were beginning to get used to the idea that Tshegofatso is no more. And even some of the family members were still going through the process of counseling. But you can imagine, it's issues like this that will take a step back for us for the process of recovery to be completed. But at the same time, we just have to soldier on. We still hope that out of this exercise, everything that is best will come for us. And finally, we will be in a position whereby we can begin the process of healing without these interruptions.
The process of healing. It's going to be a long road for the Tshegofatso's family.
Yes.
So what happens next? What's going to happen now?
So Judge Stuart Wilson says he wants to take the weekend to look over the application, and he knows it is quite a high-profile case, and has promised that he will deliver judgment then by 11 a.m. come Monday, Pradan.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Silindelo. Let me congratulate you. You got an award. You got an award just yesterday.
Yes, thank you.
So I should have said award-winning journalist. It's an honor and a privilege to work with you. You guys work very hard, and really, you're flying the flag high of good journalism.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
I appreciate that.
Take care. Thank you very much. That's Silindelo Masikane. I should have said award-winning senior reporter here at eNCA.